cozy copper candle, our ever-present ginger ale, and take a walk on over to Reading Corner. Oh, that's good ginger ale. You know what? Maybe I'll use my little table. Oh, I love this thing. Okay. Get our candle put down here. Get ready for Matilda. But you know, we gotta go turn out this light over here. I need it for the Bible, but for Reading Corner, my cherry blossoms do the trick. So let's get some nice, calm lighting and our fluffy pillows and blankets. I'm gonna get my purple blanket tonight, I think. Okay, so I've got my fluffy purple blanket. Actually, this was made for me a long time ago. By my mother, I think. She made this. And these are easy to make. You can go buy this soft material, and it's literally just, you just tie them together. And they last, I mean, I've had this blanket for, oh my gosh. I mean, my son, 12, my youngest. I mean, I've had it. I think she might have given this to me for my 16th birthday. I'm now in, well, I'm not 16. Let's just say that. All right, friends. Fluffy pillows. Fluffy blankets. Soft. Soft and fluffy. This is kind of, you guys hear that? Well, maybe it made a good noise. We'll find out. All right, let's dig right into Matilda, because I never think about how late it gets. I just get kind of caught up in what I'm doing. All right, friends, well, we left off after finding out how Mr. Wormwood runs his used car business, which is not very honestly, and Matilda doesn't like that at all, number one. And number two, he is, for whatever reason, he gets very angry when she mentions not liking the telly, which Roald Dahl is a British writer, so you will see some different terminology here. It's the way it's written, which shouts to Christina Sophia, where you at, girl? She had mentioned, she's like, it kind of, the way it's written makes her giggle, and it does me too. I hope you guys all enjoy it. Okay, one more drink. I promise. Just one more ginger ale drink. Nice, crispy ginger ale. Crispy. I'm sorry if that was loud. Okay. So she wanted to read a book with dinner. She was told no. And her anger and resentment are now building inside of her. And she thinks she needs to get back. So, the hat and the super glue. The following morning, just before the father left for his beastly second-hand car garage, Matilda slipped into the cloakroom and got a hold of the hat he wore each day to work. She had to stand on her toes and reach up as high as she could with a walking stick in order to hook the hat off the peg. And even then, she only just made it. The hat itself was one of those flat-topped pork pie jobs with a jay's feather stuck on the hatband, and Mr. Wormwood was very proud of it. He thought it gave him a rakish, daring look, especially when he wore it at an angle with a his loud checkered jacket and green tie. Matilda, holding the hat in one hand and a thin tube of superglue in the other, proceeded to squeeze a line of glue very neatly all around the inside rim of the hat. Then she carefully hooked the hat back on the peg with the walking stick. She timed this operation very carefully, applying the glue just as her father was getting up from the breakfast table. Mr. Wormwood didn't notice anything when he put the hat on, but when he arrived at the garage, he couldn't get it off. Superglue is a very powerful stuff, so powerful it'll take your skin off if you pull too hard. Mr. Wormwood, let's look at the picture. I love these almost watercolor illustrations of tiny Matilda getting that. Mr. Wormwood didn't want to be scalped, so he had to keep the hat on his head the whole day long, even when putting sawdust in gearboxes and fiddling the mileage of cars with his electric drill. In an effort to save face, he adopted a casual attitude, hoping that his staff would think that he actually meant to keep his hat on all day long, just for the heck of it, like gangsters do in the films. Like gangsters do in the films, and don't they? Oh. When he got home that evening, he still couldn't get the hat off. "Don't be silly," his wife said. "Come here, I'll take it off for you." She gave the hat a sharp yank. Mr. Wormwood let out a yell that rattled the window panes. "Ow!" he screamed. "Don't do that, let go. You'll take half the skin off my forehead." Matilda, nesting in her usual chair, was watching this performance over the rim of her book with some interest. "What's the matter, Daddy?" she said. "Has your head suddenly swollen or something?" The father glared at his daughter with deep suspicion, but said nothing. How could he? Mrs. Wormwood said to him, "It must be superglue. It couldn't be anything else. That'll teach you to go playing around with nasty stuff like that. I expect you were trying to stick another feather in your hat." "I haven't touched the flaming stuff," Mr. Wormwood shouted. He turned and looked again at Matilda, who looked back at him with large, innocent brown eyes. Mrs. Wormwood said to him, "You should read the label on the tube before you start messing with dangerous products. Always follow the instructions on the label." "What in heaven's name are you talking about, you stupid witch?" Mr. Wormwood shouted, clutching the brim of his hat to stop anyone trying to pull it off again. "Do you think I'm so stupid? Pardon my voice. Do you think I'm so stupid I'd glue this thing to my head on purpose?" Matilda said, "There's a boy down the road who got some superglue on his finger without knowing it, and then put his finger in his nose." Mr. Wormwood jumped. "What happened to him?" he spluttered. "The finger got stuck inside his nose," Matilda said, "and he had to go around like that for a week. People kept saying to him, 'Stop picking your nose,' and he couldn't do anything about it. He looked an awful fool." "Serve him right," Mrs. Wormwood said. "He shouldn't have put his finger up there in the first place. It's a nasty habit. If all children had superglue on their fingers, they'd soon stop doing that." Matilda said, "Grown-ups do it too, Mummy. I saw you doing it yesterday in the kitchen." "That's quite enough from you," Mrs. Wormwood said, turning pink. Mr. Wormwood had to keep his hat on all through supper in front of the television. He looked ridiculous and stayed very silent. When he went up to bed, he tried again to get the thing off, and so did his wife, but it wouldn't budge. "How am I going to have my shower?" he demanded. "You'll just have to do without it, won't you?" his wife told him. And later on, she watched her skinny little husband skulking around the bedroom in his purple striped pajamas with a pork pie hat on his head. She thought how stupid he looked. Hardly the kind of man a wife dreams about, she told herself. Hardly indeed. Mr. Wormwood discovered that the worst thing about having a permanent hat on his head was having to sleep in it. It was impossible to lay comfortably on the pillow. "Now do stop fussing around," his wife said to him, after he had been tossing and turning for